Yeah, but what if you're not in the burnout anymore? It just feels like that because you're feeling stuck because for so long you were used to being in chaotic situations, so much so that you craved it. And then whenever you started healing, you did go into a burnout because you realized that that type of lifestyle wasn't sustainable. So you did what you could to like heal and grieve and navigate and work through like your trauma to kind of like get out of that type of identity. But since you're so used to being in the identity of like suffering, trauma, life is chaotic, and now you're like overcoming that, you might just be in that in-between space that's more of like a freeze response where you don't know your new identity, but you're not attached to your old identity of like chaos and trauma. And so now it's not so much that you're even in the burnout anymore. You just feel like you're in a burnout because you really don't know what the meaning of your life is anymore, because for so long it was desperation and pain and sadness and trauma. And now it's like, yeah, things are better and I appreciate my life, but I don't really know what motivates me. I don't really know what I want, because for so long I was just so focused on surviving. And now that I'm actually having a decent life where I'm not focused on surviving, and yeah, I still have to deal with like human things and disappointments and stuff like that, I really don't know how to spend my time or what it is that I want, or how to even really give myself permission to go after what I want, because I already feel defeated, or I already just feel so exhausted from what my life was. And it's like, well, I already spent all this energy and all this time like healing and navigating all this trauma and trying to move through that, and I didn't even realize that I was going to get this far to begin with. So now that I'm here, like, well, fuck, what do I even do? And you know what? Maybe you needed that kind of burnout, that kind of freeze, that rest for a while to kind of actually like level yourself out, because again, for so long it was chaotic that now you're like, oh, I get to like enjoy the fruits of like actually living a sustainable life that's not constantly looking for the bear that's running after me. But like, when are you going to give yourself permission to actually start living? Because that's part of healing too. Because maybe you've learned to distance yourself from the identity of like, I deserve trauma, I deserve chaos, this is what my life is. But have you overcome the identity of I don't deserve better, or like, this is good enough? Which isn't to say that you shouldn't be appreciative of what you have right now. But a big reason why we start to freeze up after we go through that burnout, that healing, after all of that trauma, is because our nervous system and our body still isn't used to taking risks, having a little bit of chaos, having a little bit of change, and feeling safe in those small risks, in that small amount of chaos, in that small amount of change. And those things are necessary to go after goals, to start new hobbies, to make new friendships. So a lot of the times when we're in that freeze or stuck mode after healing, after that burnout, after all that trauma, we're feeling burnt out. But a lot of it is that we're playing it safe still, and we still have some of that protective identity from when we were younger and we experienced all that trauma. That's like, I don't ever want to go back to that. So I have to shield myself from any potential risk or danger that might lead me back to that type of chaos. And that's not actually healing your trauma, that's avoiding your life. Part of working through and grieving and healing trauma not only is just the burnout or the freeze response, but it's also slowly but surely learning to live, learning to enjoy your life, learning to open yourself back up, and in a way where you feel supported, in a way that you feel nurtured, giving yourself the childhood or the life that you wish that you had when all that trauma was going on. Because that's why we heal, is to actually get to the other side, to live a life that feels right for us, that feels safe, that feels authentic, that feels meaningful. So maybe set aside some time to write down different goals or dreams or little hobbies that you wanted to pick up, and then pick out the ones that seem kind of low risk, where if they work out or not, you're going to be okay with it. And slowly but surely start to put yourself back out there and let yourself be more open. And over time, that's going to rewire your nervous system and your body, and you're going to learn to trust yourself. You're going to feel more safe to take even bigger risks that are going to lead you to the life that you want for yourself. It's going to start slowly but surely dismantling those disempowering beliefs that are keeping you stuck. I would also just strongly recommend doing some parts work and getting into a daily practice of nervous system regulation and body somatics. So anyway, I hope that helps at least one person. My name is Sarah, and I'm your favorite self-experimenting coach or companion, and I help get people reacquainted with who they most authentically are. You're an amazing person, and I hope you had the best day.